Hey everybody, Daniela here with Parenting L'Chaim, and today I just wanted to do a short, quick video about how to view conflict with our children as an opportunity for learning and growth instead of as it's taking time out of our day, it's exhausting, these type of things. So our main role as a parent is to teach our children the skills that they need for the rest of their life and how to be good people and how to treat others, all of these things. And so oftentimes as a parent, when we see our child doing something incorrect or someone comes to us, we internalize and we feel like we're failures. Instead of saying, this is an opportunity to teach my child a skill that they don't have. So I'm seeing that my child is maybe doing something and they're doing it over and over again. Maybe they're being unkind to a sibling, or they're stealing, or they're telling lies, whatever the problem is that the child is having at this point in time. Instead of viewing it as personal or getting angry with the child, we need to learn to view this as, this is something I need to teach. Mental note, this is something that this child doesn't know yet. So instead of going into it from a personal standpoint, because when we make their behavior personal about us, we're no longer objective. We're no longer able to be in the role of teacher, because now their behavior is impacting my self-worth. Their behavior is violating me. So instead, we need to pull ourselves separate from the behavior of our child, and we need to say, okay, this is a skill my child does not have yet. Whether I've taught it or maybe they haven't got it, whatever it is, they don't have this skill. So if I'm a teacher and I'm teaching math and a child doesn't know how to do long division, I'm not going to say I'm a failure as a teacher. This child can't do long division. It's a really bad reflection. No, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to sit down with this children. I'm going to teach them the basics of long division. And so this is what I really encourage parents to do. When we see siblings not being nice to each other, when we see a child lying or stealing or being disrespectful, whatever the behavior is, it could be anything that comes up, we need to be able to separate the child's behavior from the child. So the behavior is something they're doing right now. The child is who they are and who they're going to be, and their self-worth and their value. And so we really need to distinguish those two things when we're correcting a child. So we don't want to label. We don't want to name call. We don't want to shame. We want to make very clear that the behavior that they're doing is unacceptable, but that they are loved and valuable and that they can learn and that they will be better. So I always use examples, if somebody had to correct you, an employer, things like that, would you want them to come in and say, you're doing a horrible job, you're always late for work, you always do this, don't do this, you're failing? Or do you want someone to come in and say, hey, I see how hard you're working, and I see, you're trying to get to work on time, and I see you rushing in every morning, concerned that you're late, what can we do to help you? Now, that second way, we're going to be open to learn. The first way, we're going to be like, screw you, you have no idea what I went through, and my kids, and the bus was late, and this, and my child forgot their lunch, and whatever it is, right? So we're not going to be listening. So when we attack who a person is, they're no longer listening, and they're missing all of the valuable lessons as a parent that you have to teach them and give them. They can't receive it from you if it's coming from a place of judgment in a place of anger. So I really want to encourage everybody, when we are correcting our kids, to step back, take a deep breath, and begin to approach them from a place of chinuch, a place of education, a place of learning, and say, hey, you know what, I see that you're really struggling with this. We want to empathize with our kids first. Hey, I see that you're having a hard time telling me the truth. Can we talk about why? And we want to actually listen to why is this child having a hard time. Maybe it's their justice. Maybe they're afraid of getting in trouble. Maybe, they feel like the parent doesn't value them or the parent never believes them. Whatever the reason is behind the child's behavior, we want to actually listen to it, not take it personally, and then we want to address it. So then we want to say, wow, I see where you're coming from. I hear you, right? We want to be heard. I don't care if you're 5 years old or 50. You want to be heard. You want your opinions and your feelings to matter. And so we want to make sure that we don't invalidate a child's feelings simply because we have to correct a behavior. So we want to say, wow, I see I see that you're wanting this, or I see that you feel this is unfair, and I totally get it, and I see that you're hurting, or I see that you're angry, or I see that you're mad at your brother for this, or mad at your sister for this, whatever that is. And then we want to go on to teach the lesson. And so is the lesson shame? Is the lesson you're a bad person? Is the lesson, fire and brimstone? Or is the lesson, hey, we have to work on being more honest. Hey, we have to work on this. And so we want to make sure that as we go into correcting children and teaching them, that number one, we're not coming from a personal place. And number two, that we teach them that the behavior and not themselves is the problem, because themselves is not the problem. So if someone says to me, I'm a liar, you're now saying I have bad character. My character, I am a liar. I am a liar. Now, if you're saying, wow, Danielle, I see that you're really struggling with being honest in this situation. What's going on? That is totally different, because you're seeing that in one area I'm struggling, and that I was honest in 50 other places in the day, but this is something I'm struggling with being honest, or struggling with dealing with, whatever it is. And that is fixable. Someone being a liar isn't fixable. And so we want to make sure as we go in and we are correcting, and I know as parents it's so frustrating, I'm guilty of it a million times, of saying things that are harsh or mean because I'm angry or I'm frustrated or I'm tired. And so we want to make sure that when we are correcting our kids, number one, we take a step back, we kind of evaluate where we're holding, so that am I in a place where I can actually teach right now? Is my child actually in a place where they can learn right now? Because lecturing when a kid's escalated and defensive and we've insulted them is not going to actually achieve anything. They're not listening and we're not listening, and we're just doing this, and we both end up frustrated and neither of us is listening. So I just really want to encourage us as parents to always remember the importance of why we are teaching. We are teaching to better them. We're not teaching to scar them. We're not teaching them to create negative self-image and negative self-esteem in them. So we want to make sure, number one, we're objective. Number two, we're not taking their behavior personally. And number three, that we're trying to teach the skill. And that's what we focus on. It's an opportunity to teach. It's an opportunity, wow, this child doesn't have this skill. So instead of taking it personally, we need to say, I need to teach this skill. I am the adult that was placed in their life to teach them the skill. I'm their parent, I'm their teacher, I'm whatever it is, I've got to teach this skill. How can I teach this skill? And if you have a hard time with one specific behavior, I'd love for you to comment below if there's one thing that you're really struggling with your child with, and we can walk through what that looks like. Maybe I'll do a second video on how to walk through lying, how to walk through disrespect, how to walk through, all of these different things that come up in childhood as our children learn to be truth tellers, as our children learn the difference and they build their character and who they are. Thank you again. This is Daniela with Parenting L'Chaim. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day. Bye.